What is going on, everyone? So I had to make this video. So I'm floating around the internet and I found the new public enemy number one that despises blacks, that hates Hispanics, also known as Mexicans to a lot of people, but mainly towards blacks. So before I show you this clip, this guy has the most hatred towards black, even though he says immigrants, but mainly he's directed it at black. So just because a small group of blacks carry out these actions, he hates all blacks. So again, this guy is worse than fair to speak. Donald Trump, for all those Donald Trump haters out there, and he's mainly pointing this towards the Black Lives Matter. Now, before I show you this clip, a lot of these niggas are doing barbaric and I'll call buffoonish actions, which I don't approve of. But again, I always distinguish the American civilized Negroes versus the niggas of the United States of America. But, fair to speak, this guy's taking that one little group and putting the hatred and blame on black Americans as a whole. This is going to be good. He's been doing this for years. This guy's worse than the Klan's leader. Ku Klux Klan leader, that is. And again, I'll get to the Hispanics or Mexicans story with this guy later on, but just take a look at this small clip, and I'll post the full video inside the description. But just look at how he describes black Americans and how he's tired of these black protesters that pretty much destroys his white America. Take a look at it.
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
And make sure you air that one.
Air that shit.
Now. Don't take that
All
one.
white cops are fucking devils and white people.
A protester was approached by TV cameras, and once he was assured that yes, he was on live TV, he explained that white people are, quote, barbaric, and that white lives don't matter. Another black explained that the rioters should head for the white suburbs because, quote, the people with the money are there. Blacks cornered whites and beat them up. They attacked 3 white TV newsmen, sending one of them to the hospital. So let's summarize. A black officer who works for a black police chief shoots a black criminal holding what was probably a black gun. No white people involved. But blacks shout about racism anyway. They riot, loot, burn, and vent their hatred of white people. Is this some new frontier in black craziness? You can go all the way back to the Watts riots of 1965 and you'll always find some white chump who gets the blame for setting the spark. Usually it's a policeman. Most of the time he didn't do anything wrong, but the man was there, at least in token form. New York in 1967, the King assassination riots in 1968, which affected 125 cities, by the way. And then skip up to the big Miami riots of 1980, 1991, Rodney King riots in 1992, Cincinnati in 2001, clear up to Ferguson in 2014. There's always been some white guy somewhere to blame and to hate. Things got a little fuzzy last year in Baltimore. 6 officers were indicted for Freddie Gray's death, and 3 of them were black, and they got the heaviest charges. And it was still a good excuse to holler about racism and do some early back-to-school shopping. But in Charlotte, no white people involved. Blacks still hollered about racism and did some back-to-school shopping. For Hillary and the New York Times, the absence of white people seems to have been a mere technicality. They're still hollering about racism too. The fact is, Charlotte is not a new frontier. A police shooting is just a pretext, and blacks don't even need a pretext. Remember the flash mobs of a couple of years ago? Young blacks would group up and then go on a rampage, robbing and beating up white people. Louisville, Kentucky had them over and over. There was a bad one at the Iowa State Fair in 2015. Kansas City had flash mobs 3 weekends in a row, with as many as 1,000 teenagers terrorizing white people. Here's a black mob attacking a driver in Philadelphia. Chicago, Denver, Milwaukee, Memphis, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., they all had flash mobs. Now, here is a white people flash mob. 100 girls dancing in Piccadilly Circus. A variant on the flash mob is for 20 or 30 blacks to file into a convenience store, ransack the shelves, and clear out. It's also called mob and rob. Here's what was left of a store in Davidsonville, Maryland, last year after blacks got finished with it. 4th of July is a great time for mobs. Once the fireworks are over, it's dark. Lots of unsuspecting white people are walking around. Boom! Rob them. Beat them up. Blacks can just be out celebrating. For 3 years in a row in the 1990s, when the Chicago Bulls won the NBA title, there were serious riots. You see, the principle is very simple. Whenever you have a crowd of blacks, especially young blacks, there's a pretty good chance they'll riot. And when blacks riot, white people, watch out. And a riot is always a chance for some back-to-school shopping. Now, blacks claim they are protesting police violence, and the media believe them. But the truth is, fish swim and birds fly. North Carolina Congressman Robert Pittenger got it right during the Charlotte riots when he said that blacks, quote, hate white people because white people are successful and they're not. He later apologized, of course, for telling the truth, but that is why they riot. They're not successful, and we are. The entire media and political class tell them that their failures are the fault of white people. Your fault, my fault. And so they deserve to be angry. And until that changes, there will be more black riots coming to a neighborhood near you. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so you've seen the clip. So I just want to add as well, how are you going to compare these dancing cheerleader girls to a normal bunch of buffoons committing these actions? That's just like comparing a high school cheerleading squad performing to a black step team at a university doing a step show. That is not relevant to how we compared it. So I know you guys got a lot of crazy comments and a lot of animosity towards this, but again, I just came across this and I've been taking a look at a lot of his videos, and I'm planning on doing a whole lot more investigation on where does this hatred come from with him. But at the end of the day, what I got out of it is that pretty much he's very inferior, or he's most inferior, that Mexicans are going to reclaim California and the United States. That's his biggest fear. His biggest fear is that he doesn't want his white civilization to become a minority in the United States of America. But we're all diverse. We love all. Well, I love all. I love the snow bunnies. I love you white people. We all should mingle. That's how I look at it. But this guy's hilarious. It's funny. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of it, man. I just came across this and this is remarkable.